Welcome back to the OlimoLeague, guys. This is the monthly finals. We're in the semifinals, to be precise. A TVT before us, and of course, we've got the wonderful guest casting stylings of Nathanius joining us tonight. And I guess, do you want to... well met, Kappa, etc. Do you want to kick off these intros, man?
Sure. In the bottom position of the map, we have the blue Terran player. I didn't even realize he joined MVP. He is center.
Oh, Nate, don't you know everybody's on MVP right now?
I mean, I got the joke earlier, but I was like, wait, actually everybody is.
Yeah, you're right.
MVP.
You're suddenly like, whoa, it's not a joke. That's actually serious. What the fuck? But his opponent in the top left, currently teamless, sadly, one of the only people not on MVP. It is the Green Terran Journey. And, you know, it was a while ago. Zombie Grub first kind of brought Journey to my attention. I mean, like, he's a good guy and all that, but never really got obsessed with him. I'm glad he's back to streaming recently.
Yeah, he streams odd. Like, there was a time where he was streaming, like, every day or every night, you know, depending on where you were. But now he just kind of streams randomly.
It's like the polar opposite of 4GG. That guy's just, like, always on, all the time.
Yeah.
But, okay, so we're in a different dynamic now. Impact stays in the tournament as the only Zerg player. 3 Terrans and a Zerg at this point. We will be covering the match of Supernova versus Impact after this. But, jokings aside from before we said, you know, kind of coasting through TVT, it's kind of nice. I love this matchup because there's not a whole lot of, like, oh my god, he's going to do this build cancel and do this crazy thing. There's some people who play the game in a weird way, but with the Koreans we have left, I'm expecting pretty standard stuff out of this.
Yeah, well, the cool thing about Terran vs. Terran these days is that even the most standard stuff has been kind of shaken up a bit. Like, there's so many different build orders people bring for the early aggressive play. Like, half the Terrans out there will open with Banshee, but there's people that do the Raven play and still the Hellion drops we were talking about earlier. And even this, you know, center, he's going to try to play an economic game with this Reaper opening. It's about, it's fun, but those gas first builds, man, they can still kill you very quickly. Because Reaper builds, they don't give you too many units to fight with in the early game.
No, certainly not. But the other thing, too, I'll bring attention to real quick is, you know, they're both building their depots not at the ramp. I kind of just feel like it's been so long since there's been a detriment where you're like, oh, I lost these to, like, free tanks. Like, the 3 depots at the top of your ramp guaranteeing that Hellions won't end the game at the 10-minute mark, like, it doesn't get better than that.
That's why I like what... Have you seen how Bomber does it though? Like Bomber puts his factory in his barracks, like out the ramp.
Yeah,
so
you get like that 2-wall. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kira did it in his GSL semifinal match against Innovation, and it was like obviously didn't win the series, but it was still cool to see. He's like taking some notes out of Bomber's book because it's also nice with how big the maps are this season to just be able to see it to be able to actually see all of your main base.
Cool, just wait until the next season, bro. Ohana means family.
No, dude, let's give these little Nugget Caverns. Can't wait for that.
You know, some Protoss is like, yo, man, close here in Metalopolis, my Stargate is literally pretty much in your base.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, but then I'm like my 888 barracks that's in my main.
Oh,
will
hold
still
up.
Kill you.
This really sucks. The depot going down like that supply blocks him for just a little bit longer, and he gets this SCV kill with it. But I think for Journey, one of the biggest things was like he got a full scout of everything that was going on here, including the starport being delayed.
He saw everything.
Yeah.
You think he thinks that he lifted the starport though? He probably expects him to move the starport onto the tech lab, unless he saw that it was already building.
Yeah, the Viking was definitely already going by the time that Reaper died, so I think he knows that there's not going to be the Banshee to worry about. But I mean, engineering base still come down nonetheless. His own starport's coming up in a second, but he never went for a tech lab. He never took his own second gas. And this CC being out earlier, you know, it's not like Protoss versus Protoss where like an expansion makes or breaks the matchup, but this is going to give Center a nice little edge.
I definitely agree. You know, the thing was, actually, when that Reaper came in, like all of Journey's units were in the top right. I guess because he didn't SCV scout. He was just like, well, I want to try to push one of the bases, and he went to the wrong one. And then obviously the Reaper was just able to run into his base for free. But the setup for both players doesn't look too crazy. Lots of Hellions on both sides.
Well, I'm actually loving the spread on the Hellions. He's going to see any Banshee, any Medevac, anything that comes out of that base.
Well,
yeah.
He has no idea what Center's doing, so pretty important.
I still like it. So he's going to go into a Raven. Oh, maybe we'll see. It's been slowly dying out, like the fast Raven tank drops. At least I haven't seen it as much, but it's still always a big threat.
Yeah. What is the Blizzard replacement from center?
I thought
Yeah.
that was gonna be that like let it get to 99% and then cancel it later. But
He
Yeah.
just wants
that's
to
the
keep
finish.
his add-on. I just wants to keep his add-on safe, I imagine, or like any rallied units. He seems
Right,
a
from,
little bit scared of a banshee.
Yeah, from what you would assume was a banshee. It's just like,
It's just obviously not an issue. So a little
yeah,
bit
he didn't actually
unnecessary.
scout the banshee and even get one at his natural. So obviously not that scared. And like, with 2 tanks, I mean, all I do is save like 1 scan. But cancels the second factory. I don't know what that was about.
He started when he canceled it. Where is
Yeah,
he?
on the tech lab where the start is now.
I guess now he's like, I'd actually like to get a raven.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, just a small
Never bad.
small band-aid here, guys. I'm sorry. I think I said best of 3 earlier, if we even addressed it. Either way, I had the wrong thing on the overlay. It is a best of 5 being the semifinals, and that has been
Okay.
updated here as well. So,
Sick.
but oh yeah, the Raven is actually going to come out of this. All right. Air dominance in TVT. I mean, it's a big deal, and the Raven can easily get that for you. But this is.
Well, I mean, it looks like he wants to go mech, right? So
Yeah. Second factory does go down, and Journey Scan hits it like exact right time.
Yeah, you definitely need a Raven for mech builds. Like just having one to stop things like any type of surround on like a third with Marauders or whatever. It's always nice. And point defense drone is obviously a godsend. I was a little bit surprised Journey went and built another reactor with his starport because I wasn't sure if he was gonna go for like just really fast medevacs off of the reactor he already had and maybe do a drop. So slightly conservative, but obviously the bio player will. Wait. I guess I feel it feels weird to say obviously, but you usually, as a bio player, use the map mobility, but center doesn't have an armory yet, so he could just be really balls to the wall crazy with these Hellions as he builds up to a pretty high count.
Like 4GG style.
Yeah. Did you guys see 4G versus MMA? Like, he actually just shoved Hellions down.
Dude,
Whoa,
exact
yes.
same thing happened of
Choked to death.
MMA, or sorry, 4GG versus Pult, the series beforehand.
Exactly.
Excuse you, guy.
Oh, I didn't get to see that series.
Exactly the same thing. Just like
He
beat the hell
He just shoved it right where it landed Vikings and everything. I mean, 4GG plays this matchup so uniquely.
He's got this like little spoonful of Hellions. Like,
Yeah.
Pult's like, no.
Open
He's
up
like,
the
"Right."
depots. Here comes the Hellions.
It's like, yeah, I'm going mech baby with 1 tank and 35 Hellions.
I mean, it sounds so silly, but I guess for those who are like less familiar with the matchup, the thing about the Hellions is while they don't hit for dick all, that splash damage is huge. If you get on top of the tanks, they're fast enough to run into the dead zone. They do enough splash damage to make up for their damage. They're fantastic if you have enough of them.
Huh. Journey's going surprisingly marine heavy for someone who scouted a factory like a second factory so early.
At this point, you definitely expect to see more, and by that I mean a Marauder at least. He doesn't even have his first one out on the map yet, so this push, like, obviously Marines are really strong, but
Doom drop heading towards the main. These Vikings are not in position to intercept this.
Uh-oh.
The Hellions are running back.
At his ramp, but the main base is so big. Okay, I like this actually. Lifting stuff up gives him space.
No,
Here we go.
he's really gonna go for it.
Auto
my God,
turret's
he's got
actually a nice
bunker back
touch.
there. What the heck?
Well, the auto turrets are killing each other. Okay, the Marines are the really big problem here. SCVs get pulled and
Yeah. I kind of feel like the SCV pull was a little unnecessary in this, but either way, it secures the hold. But that bunker was sick. I didn't even see him build that. That was a great place to have. 2 Hellions that run into the natural with this going on. Ooh, they get a lot of SCVs for their troubles. 13 go down, and the rest are like 1 shot from dead. Please,
Journey just lost his entire army.
he killed 8 SCVs with the drop, and yeah, that's I think the big point. I guess when you're playing with Bio, right, it's a more replaceable army, and since this isn't 4GG, I haven't quite gotten the impression he's just going to counterattack with 30 Hellions, because he actually lost a reasonable amount. He lost a total of 9 Hellions this game. He does have Blue Flame, which is always nice.
Yeah, that upgrade kind of squeezed in just around the time of that engagement, too. It was a little bit delayed, but we'll see. Another drop does, or 2 drops actually start getting ready to go out. But again, this bunker's been remade. I really don't know another Terran player I cast that builds a bunker like this.
I haven't seen this since the Hellbat drop days.
Right, exactly. When people just didn't know how to deal with that, but like pre-Blue Flame and all that. He actually pulls back the 3rd CC, so I guess he's really worried about an attack right now.
I love that he built this other bunker. It's just like, yeah, man, you like cruise past the turret, you think you're all cool, James Bond sliding in, then that bunker is just there. Well, yep, we're naked Marines, but we still kill stuff pretty quickly.
You know, it sounds so silly, but the thing is, you're playing mech, you're gonna have minerals to spare, right? Like, this is 1 Hellion, basically.
Yeah.
And he can actually salvage it still, too.
That's a good point. That's a really, really good point. And then he starts up the Avilo turrets, man. He's completely ringing out the entire air surface of his base.
I love this though, but we always see this happen where you'll have like someone do like 11 turrets over here, but then none over every other part of the base. So there's still holes to get in here for sure. But holy my God, we need to take a moment. I'm behind on shoutouts on that, but we just got a $100 donation from Jacques. Dude, it says specifically make sure to send half to Zombie Grub. Absolutely, sir. And if we want to share you with Nathanius, we can. He says you're really cool.
No worries.
Jacques, man, you're supposed to be saving that money for your surgery, dude. Thank you. That's so freaking generous.
All right, so 2 medevacs from Journey. They would like to find a way in, but missile turrets gonna kill one before it can even unload. And oh well.
Oh, it still goes down though.
You know what you guys need for moments like this? You guys you have the first blood graphic. You need like the wrecked graphic because that did not do anything.
I'll get that one that looks like it's going through hyperspace, like with the 3D text and everything. Like that's
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, it's less wrecked, I think, and more just like this amazing defensive setup. But Journey's not finding any leeway. That's the big thing about playing Bio. You know, we don't really see Bio take head-on engagements versus mech and win through like an A move. It's the Doom drops. It's getting around the army. It's using the mobility of Bio. If there weren't 4 medevacs, like this army for centers is not that scary, but these 4 medevacs dropping blue flame hellbats directly on top of the Marines, directly on top of the tanks.
It's still a very marine-heavy army. Yeah, man. It's still, he's got so many Marines with this force. Like those hellbats could clean out half the supply of this army in like 2 whole seconds. Keep in mind, of course, he still has the point defense drone for whenever he has to fight against the Marauders.
One thing I guess going for Journey is that centers not enough like tanks and hellbats to like push in per se, but like
but
if the army's away from the tanks.
This drop from the blue flame hellbats is so good. Not a lot dies, but it distracts.
And the problem for center, the problem is that most of center's siege tanks are actually out of range of the tanks of Journey, so Journey's he's still okay. Actually, I'm starting to slowly like this position because he's got his 4th base almost done too.
Those should have been unsieged and in position for that fight. Those tanks were so preoccupied with the Hellbats. That could have been some very nice kills.
Sure. Somehow center comes out of that engagement still ahead in resources lost, but...
Well, I think one of the big things, too, at this point, you know, he's got absolute air control. One of the scariest things for mech players is, like, a bio player suddenly go, like balloon-style battle cruisers really fast. Because all of a sudden, you know, you've got no Thors, you don't have anything, but because he's maintained air control, he's come out of, like, 3 Viking dogfights massively far ahead. There's no way Journey can even, like, consider making that transition right now.
Yeah. It's a weird position, man. These Hellions, like, that was almost interesting.
Yeah, almost gets, like, 5 SCV kills stacked up like that. But I think for center, one of the big things he has to do, and this kind of sucks, is replenish those medevacs, get those hellbats ready for drop number 2. I mean, it's a mech army never really moves into anything without that drop potential. You can defensively play all day, you're going to have tanks galore, but without hellbats dropping out of these medevacs, there's no way to really advance on top of the tanks.
Yeah. Oh, nice little hellbat drop. His total workers kill is still pretty low this game. Actually, only a single SCV I think has died since Journey's big drop play earlier on.
Oh, you said the barracks scouting too? I'm loving this.
Also had a Hellion. He had a Hellion that went to the right side of the map and saw Journey's entire army trying to find what would have been a 4th.
Ooh.
So he just repositions. Yeah, this medevac can't do anything, obviously, but at least it scouts it. It's so hard to get a mech army over there, but taking the fight here, this isn't gonna work for Journey that well.
That's really nice because this time you see like the power of fighting with the tanks in range of something, and then the medevacs of course dropping.
But look at the left side of the map.
Uh-oh.
This is the problem. Immobility of mech. He's got to unsiege and reposition. He's got some hellbats loaded up, but can he move everything in time? He's still got this army on the right side he's got to worry about. He can't completely ignore these tanks. The second Journey realizes this, he might advance forward.
He's already lifting up. He's like, yep, I don't have enough here to fight this. And there's still a tank line with the Marauders in the top right, so...
Yeah.
Center he doesn't have the luxury of being able to pull all the forces that he has to any one of these locations. And, well, the nice thing for Journey is he's still happily mining away. During all of this, he's not taking any pressure. He's got his 5th base coming up soon. And he's about as happy as you really can be.
Yeah. And at this point, 5 command centers, well 6 going on 6 now. It's like, even if you dedicate Blue Flame Hellions to try and kill CVs at a planetary, it's like a big deal. You killed like 12, I'm just gonna make 12 with my 12 orbital commands because I'm a bio player and that's what I do.
Well, I mean, the
But
mech
really-
kind of gets to that point eventually too, where you've got like those 11 extra CCs just dropping mules.
You would hope so, but look at the bank.
Right, and that's what I was going to bring up. Center's actually not in that position. He should be the one there first, in my opinion. But split his attention once again. This planetary is okay for dealing with the Marines and Marauders, but it's not going to stop the tanks.
That's a lot of tanks. That's like a mostly tank army.
Yeah.
Is there enough here on the left
And look
side,
at
though?
this. Oh, he scares him into moving over, so he comes into the third
Lift,
base
lift,
once
lift,
again.
lift.
Oh, it's so close. See? Yep. Oh, great pickup. He's like, oh, Hellbats move forward, and yeah.
Point defense drone went down a little bit late. The sensor tower looks like it's also going to fall. You know, despite having this air control, somehow still manages to find a way to hold position to medevac and get vision dominance.
He's just, you know, he's just getting like nice little pickups here and there, and it really feels like Journey is just slowly wearing Center out at this point.
Yeah. Well, without transitioning into anything, he really can't break Center unless Center makes like a drastic mistake. It usually comes down to either like the bio player or someone does the air transition and kind of wins through that, or the mech player gets fed up, pushes out, and we'll see like the win like happen as to how Journey defends. But I don't know. Center's been like really, really defensive, except that one push that he did. So I think he's like not. He's gonna be like, no, I'm just gonna try and turtle it out.
I think
considering how mech works, like the fact that he hasn't been able to turtle it out so far has been really, really not good. Look at this.
Oh, this tank positioning, yeah, glorious. That's all.
The funny thing is, like, at this point, you know that he could pull back most of these tanks because the one or two will do that job, but he's still so far ahead it almost doesn't matter.
I mean, Center's got a gas bank, but gas is so important to mech players. It's like sniping off this refinery, getting this planetary. I mean, this is a big deal. This is something you can't really just ignore. But unfortunately, with his army divided over here on the left side of the map, drops go off, but the tanks again out of position for the fight, out of range.
What is the point of Hellbat?
Why drop if you don't have your tanks?
It's so hard to call sometimes. I guess he thought that Journey was going to attack into him, but then Journey's like, actually, I can just sit here, kill 20 Hellbats, not fight the tanks, and continue to be happy and ahead.
Center is like, I mean, he's not really all in. He did remake what should have been a third, like a third with a fourth, but the fourth died, the third died. Now he's on 3 orbitals. I guess he could lift his main one if the tanks weren't sieging up what would have been his fourth, because it is almost completely mined out.
This is a really...
He does a good job of killing the 5th, but there's another base in the top right for Journey, too.
Yeah, he's been expanding for this whole time. He knows the 4th was there in the top, like, 12 o'clock position. He saw that with the medevac forever ago. Never has been able to do anything with it because it was so far away. The slow-moving mech army was never going to get there and then respond back at home. And that's what's kind of scary, because no matter what damage Journey takes, he's got that potential to actually move out and do something. Center always has to be in one spot with all of his forces all the time.
Yeah.
Like this, look at that tank run by. What the hell's a tank run by? Like
this is like the tank hit squad. These guys have been out on the map forever, and you're just like, okay, should be like 7 Marauders. No, 7
Grand
tanks.
Tank
like,
Auto. I mean,
yeah, exactly. The tanks run this town.
He actually can't defend this, and what really becomes problematic now is this actually cuts off his supply line. Oh, any SCVs that leave?
Oh, a doom drop. Oh, it's not a doom. That's a huge doom drop. Goes over one of the turrets, but you know what? Everything gets out.
This is what we talked about, though. You put like all your defense on the left side. There's a big hole on the right, so he just flies right in through. Journey gets the top of the production.
Yeah, well, the tank's back home. He's basically saying,
he can't run up the ramp. He can't run up the ramp. Oh my God, that tank positioning out of Journey was sick. GG. He'll take game number 1.
That was dirty, and I like it.
I thought Journey was such in a bad position in the beginning of that game. I was like, yo,
yeah, that push got swatted down so easily. It's like, oh man, I guess the hype train on that in-base bunker got stopped pretty quickly.
Oh really? It did.
You know what though? Like seriously, if I'm ever in that position, I'm gonna build that bunker. I'm gonna like think back to what Center did on that drop, and I'm gonna be like, yes, a bunker, no question whatsoever. But I think one of the big things we saw in that game, especially towards the end, is what makes TVT so great, like map positioning. Oh God, you hear every caster talk about it, but those tanks on the ramp on the right side at the end of the game, that's what we all try to describe to you guys through words. It's just awesome and gross and amazing.
You know, I think one thing that's really important to know is you talk about those tanks in the position. If you just take like 2 of those medevacs and Hellbats and just drop them on those tanks that were sieged outside of that right side base at any point, because it was what, just the 7 tanks and a medevac.
Well, 3 Marauders. Even then, nothing shoots up.
Yeah, but Yeah, the Marauders at some point or another actually ended up dying. I'm just like, man, you could have at least. You don't want to just let 7 siege tanks roam around your base, you know.
Well, it looks like map number 2 is going to be Overgrowth. Again, if you guys are unfamiliar with the OlimoLeague, you get loser's pick in this tournament. It's a nice advantage to have. The map pool, though, for this is a little bit, I guess, neutered down from what you guys might be used to. What is it? Catalina and Nimbus are no longer part of this, so even though it's the best of 7 finals, they don't bring those back, interestingly enough. But, yeah, Overgrowth will be the map. We're all here. So we should be good to go here in just a sec. There we go, got Nate in the lobby. Perfect.
All right, all right, all right.
Yeah. So countdown begins, guys. We're going to play the intro.